Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here today. My name is David Butler. I'm part of the undergraduate admission staff here at Penn State University Park. We're so excited to have each and every one of you here with us here today. What this event will entail here is a virtual walking campus tour. We're going to bring on two of our tour guides who are going to walk us through Penn State University Park and really show us the campus here and really talk about everything that Penn State has to offer. This tour will last for about 45 minutes. We will be highlighting some of the key buildings here on campus, including the Hub, Old Main, Library, and a lot more. At the conclusion of the tour, we'll be doing a tradition that we have of our own, which is our Warm and Fuzzies, which is really our students' reasons for why they decided to come to Penn State. So without further ado, we're actually going to transition now over to the video part here of the campus, starting with the skyline view here of Happy Valley. And I think at this point, I'm going to pass it off to our first tour guide, Jen. Jen, it's all you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I'm going to be your tour guide today. I'm super happy to be here. I am a senior chemistry major from Hawthorne, New Jersey. So this is the Lion Shrine. That's Old Main. It's honestly such a beautiful campus. One of the reasons I chose Penn State. All right, so let's get going. This is the Shields building. This is where all of our tours start. So if you're ever a tour guide at Penn State, this is kind of your little home, second home. We also have admissions here. So if you ever have a question with an admissions officer, an advisor, anything like that, they can help you out here. We also have financial aid in this office. I've been there up to that office. They have nice walk-in hours, so it's super easy, accessible. And then also the bursar and the registrar are there if you have any questions about your student accounts. But for the most part, you probably won't be walking into this building too much unless you're one of us. So yeah, walking down this way, we're going to see some of our sporting facilities, which is super fun. One of my favorite things to do here at Penn State. Right here on the right, we have our Pagula Ice Arena, which is home to our women's and men's hockey teams. And there's also a rink for just open hours where you can go ice skating and do super fun stuff like that with your friends. I've done it before. I honestly had the best time. It was really cool. Um, they also have different food options in there. I know they have a Subway, an Auntie Anne's, a bunch of other different stuff. So that's really nice. If you're in this area, you can kind of just go there and grab a bite. As we walk up, this stadium that you see right here is Beaver Stadium. So that's where all of our football games are at. And it's honestly just an insane feel. I love being there. All students are able to get student tickets. You kind of just wake up on a random day in June that you'll be notified, and you have to get up at like 7 a.m. and keep clicking until you get your ticket. I've done it all 3 years, minus the fourth year due to COVID, sad. But honestly, definitely recommend doing that. Here is the Bryce Jordan Center right here on the right. We call it the BJC. This is home to our men's and women's basketball teams, but we also have a lot of other stuff going on in this building. We do a career fair every year, which is amazing. I think it's the largest career fair in the nation. Um, and yeah, a lot of other stuff like Thon going on there too. This is our We Are statue. This is a class gift of 2013. It really just symbolizes everything that Penn State is. We are one big family. If we were here in person, we might have people yelling at us, we are, and then the whole tour would have to say Penn State. And I just love that tradition. It's just really just shows our school spirit. Right here on the right, we have the intramural building, which is one of our 4 fitness facilities on campus. So one of our gyms on campus. And this is completely included with your Penn State tuition, which is super cool. You just swipe your ID, go right on in, and there's a lot of stuff to do. Like there's a rock climbing wall, which I tried to do. freshman year, and it's honestly so fun. They teach you all like the ins and outs, how to do the ropes. So you have like a partner. Really, really cool. Definitely recommend if you want to switch up just your workout routine. Um, Also, here I like to talk about our three levels of sports at Penn State. So we have our D1 sports, we have our club sports, and our intramural. So D1 would be like the Penn State football team. If you are going to be a part of a D1 athletic program, you might be familiar with the recruiting process already. Um, Also club sports, which is more of on a D3 level, and it's you still have tryouts, uniforms, tournaments, all that good stuff, and there's so many different sports that we have at the club level. And then we also have intramural sports, which is a little, well, a lot more lax. It's you just put some friends together, make a team. It's really only cost a couple bucks, and it's really fun just to get all your friends together and do that, whatever sport really you want to do. Definitely recommend. It's kind of nice to just get away from school and do something a little bit more fun. So right here we're showing some of the residence halls, which is over in East, which is one of our 5 residence facilities. Um, Before I get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about Wagner Building, which is right here on the left. You can kind of see it peeking through the trees. Wagner Building is home to our ROTC. We have all branches of ROTC except for the Coast Guard, we like to say, because we're in the middle of Pennsylvania. We don't have a coast to guard. And yeah, so definitely a cool thing to get involved in here at Penn State, the ROTC. Also, here at Wagner Building, in the back, there is something called the Media Commons. And this is like a little shop almost that you can go into and get anything like a camera, a microphone, tripods, anything you might need for like, I don't know, a project, a podcasting project. I remember my first year here, I went in there and I got a big camera and I was just so overwhelmed because it was a huge camera. I didn't know what to do with it. And it was honestly so cool. You just swipe your ID, you sign it out, you bring it back for whatever you need it for, even if it's just for fun. Um, so that's really cool. Like I said, this is East Halls, one of our 5 residence areas, and East Halls homes only first year students. However, first year students can live in any of the 5 residence areas. Here we're going to talk a little bit about um, residence assistants. So you're always going to have a residence assistant your first year. They are there as a resource to you if you have any problems with your roommates, or if you just really just need to talk, ask them about, work-life balance, anything like that. It's really nice for them to go to. My RA, she would put out donuts, bagels, pizza. She was awesome. So I think a lot of RAs will do little things like this to help you guys out. You also have laundry inside the dorms, and they're on every other floor, so it's super easy. You also pay for your laundry with your Lion Cash. This is on your student ID, and it's pretty much just like a debit card where you put money on. You could put money on online. Anyone could do it, and then there you go. You just have money on your ID, and you swipe, and you have your laundry. You could use this for a lot of other things too that we'll get to later on. Also, your meal plan is also on your student ID. So, a cool thing about our meal plans is that you can change them throughout the course of the semester. If you feel like you don't have enough, you can up your meal plan, and it'll just be adjusted on your Bursar account. And then if you feel like you have too much money, you can go down in your meal plan, and then you'll be reimbursed. So it's super cool. I honestly really love that about our meal plans. Um, and yeah. So, oh, let me talk about roommates. A lot of people want to know about roommates. You can do random roommates, or you can come in knowing a roommate that you want. So as long as the both of you choose each other and it's mutual, you can room with that person that you chose. Um, or you can go completely random. We don't have a survey, so you would really just be getting a truly random roommate. But it's honestly great. I've heard so many great stories about people with random roommates. So whichever you decide, that option is there for you. Right here, we have the McCoy Natatorium, which is home to our men's and women's diving and swim team. And also, cool thing about McCoy Natatorium is that there are open swim hours, so you can do that as well. Also holds a lot of different um, sporting events, tournaments, things like that that you are able to go in to. So super cool. Definitely recommend. But now I'm gonna hand it over to Kayla.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. I'm a junior. I'm from outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm double majoring in global and international studies and public relations, and I have a Spanish minor. So right now we are coming up on Bank of America Career Services Building. So every semester there's a career fair with over 500 companies that are looking to specifically hire Penn State students. We have a saying at Penn State that once a Penn Stater, always a Penn Stater, and also Penn Staters love to hire Penn Staters. So basically what this means for you is you'll always be able to find some kind of job in and a professional opportunity. And this fair has all different career service center also has appointments available with counselors if you want to talk to them about your career, your potential career options, or just kind of talk to them about your plans throughout your 4 years at Penn State. The Career Service Center also does LinkedIn headshots, and they also rent out free business clothes to students. So if you're unable to get them or you don't own them, you'll be able to rent them. And this building right here is University Health Services, or UHS. And this building is if you ever are sick or you need to see a doctor on campus. It's a family style doctor's office. So once you see one doctor, you can keep seeing the same one throughout your 4 years. It's really easy to make an appointment. You can either call or do it online. It's super accessible. You can message people. They have a nurse advice hotline as well. There's also a pharmacy on the first floor. There's x-rays, you can get your flu shot here. And then if something more serious were to happen, we have ambulances that could take you to the nearest hospital. And on the top floor, we have CAPS, which is counseling and psychological services. So college can be a really difficult transition for some students, and we have counselors that can do individual or group depending on the student's preference. All right, so now we're coming up on Millennium Science Complex. And if we were in person on tour, I would ask you how many classrooms do you think are in this huge building? And I'll give it a second to just pan over. That whole thing is the building, and it's actually 0 classrooms are in there. It is a graduate research building that is actually built on shock absorbers because on game day, we register on the Richter scale. So that's a really cool little fun fact for you. And right now, we are also going to be coming up on another one of our residence halls, Pollock Residence Halls, where 24% of freshmen live. So this is freshman and sophomore housing mixed together. But if you live with freshmen, your whole floor will be freshmen. If you live with sophomores, your whole floor will be sophomores. And they also just redid part of their dining hall. A lot of people think that Pollock has the best brunch. They also have a bunch of different options. They have a convenience store, there's a bagel place, a coffee place, all inside of Pollock. But no matter where you live, you can eat at any of the 5 residence halls on campus. It doesn't just have to be where you live, which is really nice. And Pollock is a little bit different from East, which Jen kind of touched upon. The beds are in an L shape instead of just on one side of the room. So my side, your side versus an L shape. And they have one long super desk. A lot of people really like this setup. And you could visit our housing website to see pictures of that if you're interested in living in Pollock instead of East or any of the other places. And then also behind Pollock is South Residence Hall, another residence hall area on campus. And is majority upperclassmen housing, and the upperclassmen housing is renovated, and a lot of sorority floors are there. So sororities usually don't have houses in downtown like fraternities at Penn State. They're just housed on a dorm room floor. So they have a whole floor and a suite available for sororities if you want to live on your sorority floor. And then if you are not an upperclassman and you want to live in South, it's also home to our honors college. So if you're in the honors college and you want to live with other students in the honors college, there's a dorm specifically for that. And then there's 2 other dorms that are very large for just freshman students. So that building right there was the Thomas Building, which is home to the College of Science, Eberly College of Science, which Jen is actually in if she's a chemistry major. So when we say a building is home to a specific academic college, it just means that the dean's office is in there and some professors' offices are in there. It doesn't mean that if you're a science major, all of your classes will be in that building or for any of the future buildings we discuss on this tour. But I've actually had a bunch of different classes in the Thomas Building and I'm not a science major. And the Thomas Building is actually home to our largest lecture hall on campus, which is 725 students. So you'll also be able to see a little bit that bridge right there, which is the Huck Life Sciences Bridge. And the bridge is just supposed to connect the Institute of Life Sciences to teach students the gap between life science disciplines, which is really cool. It's really a great place to study and just hang out. It has a really nice view of campus and downtown. So if you ever find yourself on campus and need a different place to study, I would definitely recommend that. And again, you don't have to be a science student to have a class in there. I had a Spanish lecture in the Huck Life Science Building. So over here is the Grange Building. This is home to the Division of Undergraduate Studies, which is essentially our undecided college. I was actually in this college as a freshman and a sophomore, so you can stay in this college for 2 days or 2 years. As long as you declare your major by the end of your sophomore year, then you'll be out of the Division of Undergraduate Studies. It is a really amazing college. The advisors in there know so much about all the different majors and minors and programs on campus, so they just help you figure out your interests and they will be able to direct you with what classes to take so they can set you up to still graduate in 4 years. The Grange Building is also home to the Multicultural Resource Center, and they have advisors for minority students just to help them adjust to campus and get acclimated, and they can just serve as a mentor. And this building coming up is the Buki Building. It is home to a bunch of different offices on campus, and it is just a general classroom building. Again, I've had classes in this building, specifically Spanish classes, and I think they're always scheduled in there for some reason. So just in this building, we have the Center for Gender and Sexual Diversity, Office of Veterans Affairs, and Global Penn State. So if you're interested in study abroad, we study abroad to 6 continents. We actually used to study abroad to Antarctica, but they no longer do that, which is fine. I don't think many students have an interest in going to Antarctica. I personally would have never wanted to do that. But again, if you're interested in study abroad, we travel to over 60 countries and have different programs. So I'd highly recommend doing that. Unfortunately, with everything going on right now, study abroad has been put on pause, but hopefully it'll resume in the coming semesters. So now you are looking at the hub, which is the Hetzel Union Building Robinson Center. We never call it that, we always call it the hub. And on an average day without coronavirus, we would have over 46,000 students just coming in and out of the hub. It is a central location on campus. There's lots of dining options. So a lot of people like to debate if Chick-fil-A or Panda Express is better. But if you don't like that, we have a salad bar, there's a burrito place, there's Starbucks, Jamba Juice, there's a deli. So there's a lot of different food options that you can eat in the hub. And they take your meal points or they take Line Cash, so whichever one you would prefer to use, but you don't get that 65% off discount that you would in the dining hall. Also in the hub, you have different offices for clubs and organizations. There's also the PRCC, which is the Paul Robeson Cultural Center. So this center just has an art museum in it. It puts on different diversity events just to teach students at Penn State the importance of diversity and inclusion. And you can go in there no matter whether you're part of anything related to the PRCC, you're in the PRCC. It's just a great place to hang out. You can take tours of it. I've actually had a chance to take a tour of it and it was a really great experience. So I would highly recommend just checking it out while you're there. So coming up now, we are kind of in our health sciences section here. So this is areas home to the College of Health and Human Development. I'm actually an intern for this college this semester for their communications and marketing department, which is really cool. Different majors in this college, it kind of spans across a wide range. So you have things like kinesiology, you also have hospitality management, recreation parks and tourism management, communication sciences and disorders. So my roommate's actually this major and she wants to be a speech pathologist. So all these different majors in this college, it has a really wide span of things, which is really interesting. And then what you won't see on camera is actually going to be the nursing building. So the College of Nursing has the highest incoming GPA, and it is also a very competitive college. So you can't switch into this college without completely starting over because they're on such a rigorous academic course. So if you want to be a nursing student, you should apply directly to the College of Nursing. And nursing students actually have the opportunity to live at Hershey Medical Center for either their junior or senior year. So they'll actually kind of do a study abroad, but in Hershey, PA. This is a great experience. They get hands-on experience doing different nursing things. They also, at Penn State, they have like a lab where they have mannequins that can like give birth, they can throw up, you can practice IVs on them, you could practice shots. I personally think it's really disgusting, but I like to know that nursing students that come from Penn State are having tons of hands-on experience as an undergraduate student. So now we are coming up on Old Main, and Penn State was originally the Farmers High School of Pennsylvania. So this is our original building. Students used to take classes in here, sleep here, eat here, study here, everything that you can imagine. And normally, if we were on a tour, we would just stop and admire how beautiful it is, and we would take pictures. Unfortunately, we can't do that, but this is a beautiful shot of what Old Main does look like. And the bell rings every 15 minutes. Every single day. And on the weekends, it has the fight song for Penn State. So it's just a good sense and reminder of your school pride when you're out walking. You can just hear the bell, which I really like. And then you'll be able to see a little bit of downtown State College, which is right over here to the left. So we like to say that campus came first and downtown came second because downtown is completely catered to college students. So for things like that, we have a ton of different apartment buildings, places where students can live, a wide range of if you want to live in a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, there's even 6 bedroom apartments, houses. So there's a lot of different options if you want to live right just a little bit off campus. And there's a lot of great options for places to eat. There's 2 Starbucks if the 2 on campus weren't enough for you. There's different bagel places. There's a pizza place. There's Chipotle. There's a lot of different chains. And then if you want to do shopping, we have an H&M. There's a Target. And I've recently been going to a lot of different coffee shops that are not chains, which has been a really fun thing to do. So I'd highly recommend just checking out Downtown State College if you are ever able to come to campus in the near future. And you can also use Line Cash at a lot of different places downtown. It sort of functions like a debit card down there. So if you put money on there, instead of having a debit card to carry around, you could just have your Line Cash. And I would say like the majority of places take Line Cash. And if you're curious if a place does or doesn't take it, you can just look it up. There's a whole website about what places downtown take Line Cash. All right, so now we're coming up on the engineering side of campus. So that's the Hammond building over there. It's home to the College of Engineering. So we have all different kinds of engineering, petroleum, biomedical, no matter what kind of engineering you're interested in, there's a different building on campus likely dedicated to it. And also in the College of Engineering, which I always find interesting, is the computer science program. So if you're interested in computer science, you'll find yourself in the College of Engineering. And you also kind of just saw the Sackett building, another engineering building. And this area is what we would call Petit Mall. So you'll come up and see the library in just a little bit. But I'm actually going to pass it back to Jen, and she's going to start talking about the Alumni Center.
Hi guys. All right, so we are walking over towards our Alumni Center. This is when I like to start talking about my favorite facts about Penn State, reasons why I came to Penn State. So we have a huge alumni network. So we have over 700,000 living alumni, which is just crazy every time I say it. We have 125,000 dues paying alumni, which is amazing. Our alumni really love us and we love our alumni. Um, so the thing about Penn State is like even if you're interning somewhere or like going for an interview at a job, a lot of times you're just gonna run into someone that went to Penn State or knew someone at Penn State and we all just have a love for each other. So to already have that connection is amazing. And just your degree means that much more. So yeah, definitely a cool thing. Some fun facts, 1 in 9 Pennsylvanians with a bachelor's degree is from Penn State, and 1 in 115, I believe, are people in the United States with a bachelor's degree is from Penn State. Uh, these statistics just blow me away, honestly. It's just crazy how many people come to Penn State and love Penn State. And this alumni network is honestly just amazing. And I definitely think that it's great to take advantage of when you're here and when you graduate, in terms of finding a job and just all sorts of things like that. So yeah, this is our Hints Alumni Center. Right now we're actually doing free COVID testing for anyone. You could just walk in, which is awesome. Um, so Penn State's really doing a great job with that. So here we have Dickey Building, which is home to our College of Earth and Mineral Sciences. The Earth and Mineral Sciences is super cool. We have a ton of different majors, and a little fun fact I always like to throw out is that 1 in 5 meteorologists is a Penn State graduate, so that's pretty crazy. The program is just amazing, and the meteorology program is ranked 8th, which is just awesome. The building is also super beautiful. They have their own library in there. I really like going in there. Um, this is also one of the spots that has a one button touch studio, which is pretty much a little box, and you can go in there, make a presentation, and you just press a button and it starts recording you. So it's really nice. You can like practice your presentations, kind of see yourself, what you need to improve upon. I really love these studios. I think that they're just a great resource, and there are different locations all over campus that has these super cool tools. So we also have our Westgate building, which is home to our College of Information Science and Technology. So IST, in other words. All IST students are required to complete an internship before graduating, and more than half of these students actually complete multiple internships. This building is honestly beautiful. There's a little bridge that goes over one of our streets, and it's really nice to just study there. You kind of watch the cars pass by. It's really beautiful. Definitely recommend if you're looking for somewhere new to study. Right here we have our Schwab Auditorium, which is, if once we pan over, you'll see that looks exactly like our Carnegie building. And this is an auditorium. It has 890 seats, and we have a bunch of different drama, dance, lecture programs, all that good stuff. They have so many different performances throughout the year. This right here is our Carnegie building. This is home to our College of Communications. And something about communications that's super cool is that they also do a ton of internships throughout the year. Their students are great. And this building, we just got a $30 million, I think, endowment from Donald P. Belisario himself, which is now what the college is called, the Donald P. Belisario College of Communications. And yeah, so we just got a ton of money for that, which is super cool. Went into just a lot of different resources for our communications majors. So definitely a really good college to get into. This right here is our Burroughs building, which is home to our with our foreign languages. And if you have English classes, which every student is required to take English 15, English 202, your TAs, teachers' assistants, or your professors' offices might be in there. This is the Sparks building, which is home to our College of Liberal Arts. Liberal Arts is the largest college that we have here at Penn State. Each year, liberal arts students, a lot of them do study abroad, which is awesome. The liberal arts college is honestly just, there's so many things that you can do. There's so many majors. It's a great college to be in terms of even just seeking out scholarships and all that. The advisors are great. Definitely recommend if you're thinking about it. And then here we have the library that we're getting into right now. I think this is where I hand it back to Kayla.
All right, so I'm going to quickly talk about the library. So the library is home to 6 million volumes of books and over 600 databases. So there is a lot of information that you can have access to just by coming to Penn State, but all of this is also made available virtually. So if you need to access any of these books, they have online resources. Also, if you can't find a book or something that you're looking for on campus, we can talk to any of our Commonwealth campuses as well as any of the Big Ten schools. So if you can't find the book between the Commonwealth campuses and any of the Big Ten schools, we usually like to say that it doesn't exist. So over here, we are in West Residence Hall area, another one of 5 residence halls on campus. A lot of people love West Dining Hall because it's home to the best cookies on campus. So they take them right out of the oven and they're on a hot tray. So a lot of people love that about West. And right now, you might kind of be wondering how people get around campus. You might think it's really large, but Penn State is really walkable. I actually decide to walk everywhere. I never take the bus. I don't have a bike. I just really enjoy walking around campus year round. I mean, when it snows and it's raining, it's not as fun, but it's still a very beautiful campus. And I highly recommend just taking advantage of getting some exercise. If you don't like to walk, you can bring your bike or your skateboard to campus. And we also have 4 free buses on campus. The general rule is if they have a color, they're free. So we have the blue loop, the white loop, the red link, and the green link. So these go clockwise and counterclockwise on campus and west to east and east to west. So if you want to take the bus, they have an app so it can tell you where the bus is, how many people are on it, all that stuff. And the buses like go downtown as well. So if you live in an apartment building, you can take the bus to campus. I live in an apartment and I still think I would rather walk. I get a bit motion sick, I'll be honest. So walking is definitely the better option for me. And if you want to get home, we have Greyhound buses and mega buses that will take you to major cities. And we also have an airport. It's really small. So when I first saw the airport coming from usually flying out of Boston, I was so surprised. It's just one terminal and the plane is really small, but it will connect you to other major cities. So when I flew out of state college, I flew into Philadelphia and then I flew from Philadelphia to Boston. So generally, you have to take a connecting flight, but it's only 10 minutes away from campus, and you can take an Uber, you can take a Lyft, a friend drive you. Unfortunately, the bus doesn't drop you off there, but the bus will take you to different places around campus, like off campus. If you want to go to Walmart, there's a larger one, there's a larger Target. So you can pay $2 each way, or you can also Uber or you can Lyft. A freshman generally can't have cars on campus. You usually need 29.1 credits, which puts you at sophomore standing. But you really don't need a car unless you're going home frequently, or if you feel like you need it for a medical reason, you can contact the Department of Transportation for that. So we actually just saw the Lion Shrine. It is the second most photographed site in Pennsylvania. I'm always so jealous of people that have baby pictures next to the Lion Shrine when they came to visit when they were little. So if you have one of those and you're watching this video, I'm so jealous of you. But anyway, I highly recommend taking a picture when you move in your freshman year and then when you graduate, just so you can see how much it changed and just have those for the memories. So over here now, we are at the Chambers building, which is home to the College of Education. Some people say this building looks like a high school. I'm not sure if I think it does or not. Haven't really came to that conclusion yet myself, but there's a better look at it. And education students can complete their student teaching semester abroad, but if they decide to stay in the state college area, they'll be paired with a school at like the furthest away they will be is 40 miles from campus. So that's pretty nice. And they help pair you with the school and just have a whole student teaching program. So next we are going to be coming up on the Pasquarella Spiritual Center and the Eisenhower Chapel. So it's important to note that Penn State is a non-denominational university, meaning that we don't identify with just one religion. We actually have over 50 religions practiced on campus. And if for some reason your religion isn't practiced on campus, or we don't have an office or a club or organization dedicated to it, we have spiritual advisors that can help you find some in the State College region or the Center County. So that's really great. So if you're worried about your religion being either less common or you're not sure if we'll have it, you can reach out and connect to those spiritual advisors, and they'll be sure to connect you with the right people just so you can keep practicing your religion on campus to make Penn State feel like your second home. So the Eisenhower Chapel, that is home to Mass. They have 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Mass. So some people like to tell their parents they went to Mass at 9. They don't like to say if they went at night or in the morning. I actually think 9 p.m. is perfect. After you study all day, you can just drop by. It's right across the street from the library, which is nice. And it's also home to our blue and white weddings. So there's this joke that we say that there's a waiting list to get married at the Eisenhower Chapel. So if you want to get married, we highly recommend that you put your name down in pen and your partner's name down in pencil. So you never know what could happen, but at least after 4 years, you'll still be able to get married, even if you're not still together with your original person. So that's just a better look at Pasquarella Spiritual Center and Eisenhower Chapel. Very beautiful location on campus. Again, it's right across the street from the library, which is nice. All right, so behind that building, we have a bunch of the buildings home to the College of Arts and Architecture, which I'll touch upon in just a minute. But for these buildings, we have the music buildings are back here. So they just built a brand new recital hall on campus. So it's very beautiful. There's over 400 performances between music and theater students. The theater program's actually highly ranked in the nation, which is very cool. So it's just back behind over there. That's the theater building, music building, recital hall. And then we're also going to be coming up on the forum building, which is actually a building that's in a circle. And we like to say it's freshman proof because if you can't find your classroom, you just keep going round and round in a circle. I personally thought this building was so confusing at first because the numbers of the classroom just go in this weird order. It's like 115 to 108. So it's really odd, but you'll be able to find your classroom because there's only about 5 or 6 lecture halls in there. And that has stadium style seating. So it has usually 200 to 300 students in that lecture hall, and professors are technically underground in their classroom. So if you think that you can talk throughout the lecture, the professor can actually hear you better just because of the acoustics in there. So just be careful when you're in that building if you want to talk during class. So right over here is the Palmer Art Museum. So it is a very beautiful building. It is free to the public and for Penn State students. It's actually the only art museum between Pittsburgh and Philly. So they have a lot of traveling exhibits just between the two cities, and they just happen to always stop by over here. This is the Borland Building, home to the College of Arts and Architecture that I talked about a little bit earlier. So different majors like acting, architecture, art history, graphic design, music, musical theater. My roommate's actually a graphic design major and she loves the college. She thinks it's really going to prepare her for her future outside of Penn State. So she's currently working on getting an internship for the summer. So this whole semester is just dedicated to personal portfolio and just design, which is really interesting. So this you can in any of these buildings, but they're restricted in some areas just because you need to have swipe access to access some of the high technology in different areas. And they have different photo studios, design studios, and it's just a really, really great program just across the board for arts and architecture. And architecture can be a 5-year integrated program to get your master's degree. So if you're interested in architecture, I'd highly recommend that. This building I actually believe is, well, it was under construction at the filming of this, but I think it's complete now. And Penn State is amazing in the fact that they are always doing construction. And some people may view construction as a negative thing, actually really amazing because it just shows that Penn State wants to keep updating their buildings and stay with highest technology and innovation. Across the street from that building is North Residence Halls, the last area of residence hall areas we talked about today. So North Residence Halls only has 8% of freshmen that live there. So it is a pretty small amount. There's one freshman only building, and then the rest of the buildings are suite style. So you can live in the suite style as a freshman, but usually if you're a freshman and you live over there, you're gonna live in the all freshman building. I actually lived in North my freshman year and it's very quiet. I definitely would only recommend living there if you like a more quiet environment versus East Halls or Pollock Halls or South Halls is going to be a little bit more of the typical freshman experience, but North is very a good location in terms of being close to the library, stuff like that. So over here, this is the business building, home to the Smeal College of Business. So there's only 8 majors in this, but there's 40 student-run clubs and organizations. So if you're interested in supply chain, marketing, finance, accounting, management, this would all be your home over here. The business school actually has the largest student-run hedge fund in with $8.5 million just to be a business major to join, but it's a great way for students who are looking to pursue careers in research, banking, analytics, investment banking in the future, just to get involved in there. It's very prestigious and very competitive to get into. The Smeal College of Business also has a coffee shop called Zaxby's. It's a chain, I believe, and every semester it is run by an undergraduate student. So that's very cool. If you're a management student, you get hands-on experience actually being able to manage a real cafe, real money, it's a real chain, just stuff like that is great. And then for business students, they always have a coffee shop and food readily available for them. Again, you can use your meal points or your line cash or just regular debit card, credit card, cash at this area. So behind the business building, we're going to be coming up on our last academic college of the day, which is the Agricultural Science and Industries building, home to the College of Agricultural Sciences. This is a really interesting college. It's not just about farming. There's different majors like biological engineering, food science, forest ecosystem management, immunology, and infectious diseases. So if you want to become a pharmacist, also turf grass sciences. Penn State is one of the leading producers of turf grass in the world. So if you're interested in any of those fields, it's just not just about farming animals, which I was definitely under the impression of for a while. But this is a great college just to get involved in if you want to be in any of these fields, and agriculture jobs are really popular in Pennsylvania. This college also puts on an event called Ag Day, where they have free creamery ice cream and they have different animals. And I just encourage people to come out and just learn about the college. So it's really interesting experience and a really fun day for a lot of people, even if you're not in the College of Agricultural Sciences. So also, you'll see in just a moment, we are going to pan back over to the Berkey Creamery, and the creamery has Penn State ice cream. They also have different milk products. They have teas, they have food in there as well. And the creamery has 2 rules. So the first rule is you can't mix flavors. The only person to ever do this was Bill Clinton when he was president, and you can only have blue and white sprinkles. So as long as you follow these rules, you'll love the creamery. The creamery actually ships ice cream across the country. So if you're at home and you're really craving creamery ice cream, you can just order a shipment of that. And if you're on campus and you're going home for the weekend or you're going home for the summer or the semester, they will give you enough dry ice for your ice cream so you can bring it home and it won't melt on your way. So if you say, oh, I have a $5 car ride, they'll give you enough ice that will last for that long. So that's really great. Again, the creamery is a really great place. You can use your dining dollars, you can use your line cash, you can use regular just monetary values, debit card, credit card, etc. So that's just the creamery. And on a really sunny day, we would have tons of people just sitting outside enjoying ice cream on the weekends. It's super busy, especially game day weekends when parents and families are up here. The line for the creamery is so long, but it's definitely worth it. So you'll just be able to see that over here. And then on the top floor, they have different food science buildings, and then where they actually make the ice cream as well. So at this point, this concludes our actual tour. So I'm going to pass it back over to David.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla. Jen, Kayla, great job as always. Such a wonderful job giving this tour and providing a lot of great information for all of our future Penn Staters. Thank you so much. So as we're wrapping around the Berkeley Creamery here, we're going to start wrapping things up ourselves. But before we let you all go, one thing we always like to end on is a tradition that we have of our own here with our Penn State tour guides, and that's our warm and fuzzies. And our students' warm and fuzzies are just their reasons for why they decided to come to Penn State University. So without further ado, Jen, would you mind giving your warm and fuzzy, please?
Yeah, so my warm and fuzzy is pretty simple, actually. I just came for a tour at Penn State and I honestly just fell in love with the campus. It's honestly just gorgeous. And the day that I came, it was snowing and it was just so pretty. And I could honestly just see myself being here. Everyone here is just so nice and kind and welcoming that I just felt at home immediately. And yeah, I just went home that day, got on the computer, and committed to Penn State, and I have never looked back.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. Thank you so much for sharing, Jen. And Kayla, would you mind giving your warm and fuzzy, please?
My story is definitely a little bit different from Jen's. Being from a little further away from Penn State, I never heard of Penn State before my college advisor told me to apply to Penn State. So I actually came to visit for the first time for Accepted Students Day, and I absolutely just hated every second of it because my mom loved every single second of the tour and thought it was so beautiful and so clean and so pretty, and everyone was so friendly and all the school spirit. So naturally, my 17 or 18-year-old self just hated it. So I couldn't wait to leave. She took pictures of me everywhere on campus, and I just was absolutely miserable. And then when I came back home to Massachusetts, I noticed that everyone knew someone who went to Penn State, or they went to Penn State, or just had some kind of connection to Penn State in this like almost creepy manner. Just the fact that Penn State is literally everywhere. And so I decided that I was going to go to Penn State after researching it and just realizing that it had so many incredible opportunities just for not only for your undergraduate experience, but just beyond life, no matter what you want to do. And so it has been an amazing decision. And still today, when we see a Penn State bumper sticker, any of my friends or family at home is always like, oh, Penn State.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Kayla. Jen, Kayla, wonderful job as always. You guys always present such a great tour, and you guys both embody everything great about Penn State University. So thank you so much for doing this here today and providing such a great tour and great information to our future Penn Staters again. So thank you so much. So that does conclude the end of this tour. If you have any questions about anything whatsoever about Penn State, the admissions process, whatever it may be, please feel free to email us at admissions@psu.edu, and also visit our website at admissions.psu.edu/experience for any future events. Also, you can follow us at our following social media outlets. Here you see the Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. So please feel free to go and follow us on our social media pages. That being said, thank you so much again for being with us here today. We enjoyed having all of you with us. Again, we hope to get you all on campus here very soon, but in the meantime, please stay healthy, please stay safe, and we'll see you all here eventually soon. Thank you so much. We are